Yeah, I guess I'll give you a similar advice, and based on my own experience. You really want to do something that you like and you're interested. So you need to find, or sort of as early as possible, what is your main interest. You know, something that you really like, then you can do better and you can master. All right? And you can spend all the, when you like it, then you will spend the time to do it. This is sort of the same thing like Dr. Benner is saying. The addition is that we always heard that you want to grab the opportunity, right? When the opportunity comes, you don't want to let it go. Well, what do you mean by you grab the opportunity? My own experience, my understanding is that you are prepared for it. Okay? When you are prepared for it, then the opportunity comes, then you know it is there, then you will grab it. Okay? And how do you prepare it? I'm not a very good, people who pass the exam, but I know if I spend enough time, I can understand what I learn. I can really learn well. And that's something you want to do. I mean, you want to take all the opportunity, all the possibility to master what you are taught or what you are learning. And when you, it's not just like you pass certain exam and that's it and forgot it. But you need to know exactly what the content of what the real content you are learning. And when you are good enough or good at it, then you know that's something go with you. And that is the ability you have. So with that, when the opportunity shows up, you know that's there, then you can grab it. Okay, so the whole the message here is that as a student, a college student, the 4 year, you want to just use the 4 year, of course, you want to have fun, but in the meantime, you really want to master something that you are interested. And with that ability, when there is something come up associated with your career, then you can grab it. Okay, that's my own experience and my advice. Okay. Okay. So how you get it?
就问这个Miller 说，他拿诺贝尔奖，回头来看的话是，大学时候比较重要，还是研究所时候比较重要，还是在 IBM 时代对他的影响最大啊？这个也许跟大家知道。One question to Benos. And now you are already a Nobel laureate. Which period, like a university, or a master degree, or a PhD degree, or after you're working in the IBM, the most impact to you for your career? Which period is most important for your the academic career?
If I look back, then it's certainly the school time. What I realized is, well, I have a lot of discussions with young people, and then I tell them, anybody, each individual is born as a scientist. You're trying, from the first minutes of your life, you're trying to discover. You discover your environment. And you're making mistakes as a child. Although somebody tells you, don't do it, you have to take your own experience, and you preserve this throughout many years. Now, during school time, it's the task of a teacher to nurture this creativity and this curiosity, that you maintain it. And it's depending on the teacher whether this curiosity and this creativity is killed or is preserved and nurtured. And so I experienced that during my school time, the creativity was somehow supported and was growing with the help of an arts teacher, a painter and a sculptor And the curiosity was maintained or even increased by a chemistry teacher. So in the very first years, you have the possibility to either take off or being well, how should I say, neutralized. So this is one of the most important periods in my development. I think this answers your question, right?
Okay.
Yeah, one more time. All right.
Okay.
Here's a question from. Here's a question for me. You basically asked why I'm coming back to Taiwan. If I stay stay abroad, I might achieve better. That's what you mean, right? Well, I don't know. I'm not sure that's the right. Well, the decision to come back to Taiwan actually many reasons. Obviously, today, if you compare the environment in Taiwan, what you can do here is not different from what you can do outside. In fact, many lab or many facility in Taiwan actually is maybe better than what you get in the Western country. Okay, and a very important reason I come back, of course, because this is home, and then when I was asked at that time, they want to establish something in the field. Or because at that time the superconductivity was relatively low, the activity was not that intensive. Professor Yang was back to Taiwan also about the same time, right? And there was not much yet, so I was asked to come back and help set up. And I think that's sort of, I think it could be my responsibility. That's one thing. Another thing is that I personally feel that the way of Taiwanese education, that's a little bit problem, even today, okay? Although I cannot make overall impact, but maybe I can do something to change someone working together. What I mean is that I grew up in, although I finished my college and the first master degree in Taiwan, but my own experience is slightly different from a lot of people. I'm not just starting for getting good grade or passing good exam, but I was trying to be curious, okay, to maintain my curiosity most of the time. And I think that was mentioned also, very important to keep the curiosity. And so when I returned, I was always trying to work together with whoever work with me. I tell them this is the way for you to develop. And that's one of the reasons I may be able to have a better way to help some of the young people. Okay, and of course, in the meantime, as I mentioned, in terms of research, it's not really you need a good facility or something. You just need a good idea or to know what the good question to ask. Okay, and that can be done almost everywhere. It's not just the Taiwan, you can do the same thing. So this is also another important really message to everyone here. You are here to learn how to ask the right question. You are not to learn how to answer a question, right? So this is, as a teacher, actually, we should teach our students how to ask a right question. When you know the question, ask the right question and find the answer, then you get something really important. Okay, and that's what a very important reason I come back. And Taiwan, of course, is much better place to live. Yeah.
To make some comments.
I think I need to make a comment of general nature. We have there's many times today I heard about Nobel Prize and how, well, questions are raised, what's needed to get the Nobel Prize. And this was also asked to me yesterday. My sloppy answer was yesterday, you better sit back and relax. Okay, a little bit more serious. I give you the advice to work on a topic which you enjoy and give yourself a chance, not aiming at the Nobel Prize. Otherwise, if you are aiming at the very beginning, if you are aiming all of your life to get the Nobel Prize, then you might be disappointed year after year. Give yourself a chance to enjoy your work and enjoy when your work is appreciated by your peers. If you get the international appreciation that somebody is following your work because he's impressed and says, well, I would like to also join that field which was opened by this and this colleague. So please don't aim at it, then, because there are thousands of brilliant people around the world who would deserve the prize, but the chance to get it is depending on very different circumstances. And imagine the prize is 110 years old this year. And the number of Nobel laureates in the different disciplines is not exceeding 700 people. Okay, you can calculate maybe yourself what the chance would be.
接下来这个问题跟这个 Nobel Prize 还是也有关系哈。那这个我想会 address to Dr. Benos. Okay, there's a audience. I think it's a student. He said will be how did you feel when you have this honorable Nobel laureate? Do you feel more stressful, or do you have more responsibility for future scientific development? Can you share your opinion or comments on?
Well, certainly you're becoming a very public person, and you are observed by laymen and your scientific colleagues. So this is not a very, from time to time, this is not a relaxing atmosphere. One of the most serious problems is that people have growing expectations that the prize itself turns you from a normal human being to a genius. And this is certainly not true, at least not true for the majority of Nobel laureates. And they have to learn in certain situations not to be aggressive and make comments to a topic where they don't have not the slightest knowledge. The prize alone doesn't increase the knowledge in every area. And this is something which somebody who gets the prize has to learn. And somebody will manage and somebody will not manage. So,
the same thing. You don't pursue a specific. I want to re-emphasize what Dr. Berno said. You don't want to do the work because you're aiming a certain goal, or because of certain prize or any. It's to really do it because you like it or you love it and you find it's the interest. Okay, and yeah, of course I don't have the experience to be a Nobel laureate, so I don't have that problem. Yeah, so I'm still enjoying doing a lot of interesting work right now. Okay.
There's one more guest question. I think Professor Wu have give his guess, but I think this will be question to Dr. Benos. when do you think the room temperature superconductivity will become? What kind of material would that be? Can you give us a guess?
There are certain models which have been also shown by Professor Wu. I was discussing yesterday with a few of your colleagues here, and I mentioned the approach or the proposals by Ginzburg in 64 and Little in almost the same year. I see it's worthwhile to get into a closer look into these proposals. And I recall around the time when we discovered the cuprate superconductors, there was a development in organic superconductors. They started at a very low temperature with a TC around 1 Kelvin. But slowly, with different compounds, the chemists were able to synthesize superconductors with a TC of 13 Kelvin. This was somehow overlooked because it was the excitement with the cuprates were overwhelming. So there is still a chance that another class of materials, not the iron-based materials, not the cuprates, another class of materials will show superconductivity at even higher temperatures. And well, it's hard to predict the future.